has a different reason why they start a business or why they don't start a business. Starting a business is a big endeavor, and it's not for everybody. Some people just like to have that steady paycheck, to know that every week or every 2 weeks they get a paycheck into their bank account and they know how much money they are getting every time. And that's fine. I myself did that for years. But then there are others who just have the drive, or they're just born entrepreneurs. And then there are still others that like a mix of both. Now, for me, I did work a 9-to-5, your typical 9-to-5 job with a weekly paycheck or biweekly paycheck, same amount every time. But then, luckily, in hindsight, I was let go from my job because of downsizing. And as it turned out, I was pregnant with my first child. And at first I panicked. I was newly married and pregnant with my first child. Okay. So yeah, so I was a little worried, a little panicked. I came home, told my husband, and he's like, whatever, it is what it is. We will figure it out. So as it turned out, I decided that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I didn't have a job to go back to anyway. I couldn't go and find a new job. I think I was about 2 months pregnant, maybe not even, but I'm thinking, well, who's going to hire me when I have to turn around and go on maternity leave 10 months from now? Or, sorry, no, that's not right. 9 months from now, 8 months from now, depending, right? So I just decided to do some freelance work. I am a graphic designer, and that's what I did. I had a couple of clients, and that took me through until I had my baby. And then I continued to do freelance graphic design for a bit. And then I had my second child. Now you add another into the mix, you're a little busier, so I couldn't freelance as much. I think I kept one client, just to have that extra income for diapers, formula, whatever else, right? And then, if memory serves, because it's been a bit, my oldest is now 16, I stopped the freelance graphic design because I didn't have the time to devote to it at that particular moment. I had 2 kids, 2 and under. So yeah, and I wanted to devote my time to that. We were okay financially, so I stepped away for a bit. But then my son goes to school and I just have one at home. So I'm thinking, well, it's time to do something. And to be honest, I don't even know how this came about. I found the website Etsy. And for those of you who don't know what Etsy is, it is a platform where you can have a shop, an online shop. And it's, back then, I don't know what it's like now, but back then it was strictly for handmade items, supplies to make those handmade items, and vintage stores. So like vintage, I believe in order to sell vintage, the items needed to be like, I think at least 30 years old. I'm not really sure on that. But I decided to open up a handmade Etsy store. And what I did was jewelry. Well, I quickly learned that jewelry is an extremely saturated market. So this is kind of where I should have researched that before going ahead and doing that and getting all the supplies and all of that. And jewelry is also like art. It's in the eye of the beholder kind of thing. So everybody has their style. So I ended up switching, and this was totally by accident. I had come across some vintage silverware. I don't even know where I got it, but it was yucky. It was not usable. So I took the spoons, I flattened them, I made myself some garden markers for that summer. It happened to be just before Mother's Day. And I thought, hey, I wonder if these would sell. So I threw them up, just one set. I just threw them up in my Etsy shop. So here you have an Etsy shop full of jewelry and then a listing of garden marker spoons. Okay. They sold like hotcakes. I mean, granted, it was Mother's Day, so they were the perfect Mother's Day gift. So this is how I then switched from jewelry to hand-stamped vintage silverware. And what happened, excuse me, what happened was that it worked. Now I was busy, and I believe I did it for, I'm going to say 4 years. And I was busy. I got busy. I was featured in magazines. However, I was not busy enough to hire help, but I was too busy to have a life. We're talking, okay, think of Christmas. Christmas was obviously the busiest time. I had to get my mother to do my shopping for me. I had to get my mother to come over here and do my baking for me. Like, I had no freedom, and that was not what I wanted. That was not the point of having my own business. The point was to have the freedom to spend my time with my family when I wanted to, when I needed to create my own schedule. So as much as I loved doing it, I decided that that wasn't what I was looking for. I didn't want to work more than I did a 9 to 5, although I liked it better than working a 9 to 5. So I think I was in denial. I did not go back to my graphic design work, although I did my own. And I don't know why. I think maybe I was thinking I wasn't good enough, you know, that old mindset thing, that I wasn't good enough to do other people's graphic design and things like that. So I ultimately got into the network marketing industry. Now, I know what some of you are going to say, and I agree to a certain point. But if I'm not promoting the network marketing industry, that's not the point of this video. But if you're in the right company, with the right people, with the right product, and you do it the right way, it can be lucrative. However, it still was not my thing. I was just, I'm not a salesperson per se. And I do still am sort of in that industry, but with a company that I am in more in an alignment with. Okay. I don't really promote it. I don't have time for that now with my other business, but yeah, I got into that. And then I took some coaching courses, things like that. Then I decided, you know what? I am doing all this graphic design and advertising for my own businesses. Why can't I do it for other people? Like, I was being silly. I had graphic design background. I had all the knowledge from doing it all for myself and for my friends. So why can't I make a business doing people's websites and Facebook ads and logos and whatever else they need to brand themselves and promote their business? So that is what I ultimately ended up doing. And it took me a while to get there, but I am here and this is where I meant to be. And now I know that. So whether you want to be a business owner or not, it doesn't matter. What's important is that you are doing what makes you happy. So if making a steady paycheck makes you happy, that's perfect. If pursuing a small business is ultimately going to make you happy, then by all means, do it. If a mix of both makes you happy, that's even better. Really, you've got the steady paycheck and then you're pursuing a small business. Multiple streams of income, that's important. So statistics say that about 80% of startups make it past their first year, which in my opinion isn't too bad. But the 20% that don't make it through their first year, it's probably because they're not prepared. They're not prepared for advertising and marketing themselves, and they don't know the steps to take, and they're not branding themselves properly and getting their name out there. And If their product or service is not something that people want, that's another issue. You need to do the research, like I found out, and make sure that the product or service you are offering is something people want and need, and then promote it accordingly. So my why, to get to my why, basically is so that I could stay home with my kids. Now, if I hadn't have been laid off, I probably would have gone back. So in hindsight, being laid off from my job was a blessing because it forced me to take that action that I probably would not have taken. I don't know if I'm such a big risk taker as to say, okay, you know what? I'm quitting my job and I'm going to pursue my own business. Now, I most likely would have done both if time allowed. I would have pursued both at some point. But luckily, I was laid off. Okay. So that was my why. I wanted to stay home with my kids. Now, my kids are now both in high school. They're 16 and 14, and I could conceivably go back to a regular job, but I don't want to. I've put too much time and energy into creating my ideal day, basically, my ideal day. I love being able to wake up in the morning and sit with my kids while they eat breakfast, not have to rush out the door, get them to school, get them to the bus, whatever, and rush and get to work. I love that I am able to meet my kids at the front door when they come home and sit down for 15, 20 minutes and ask them about their day. And they actually tell me, I think they tell me everything. But regardless, they don't say, oh, never mind, or I don't know. Sometimes they do, but it's not bad. They'll tell me about their day. And I think it's because I was able to do that from the get-go. So that is my why. Even though they are older, I still love to be here when they come home from school. And I don't think I know I wouldn't be happy if I was at a 9 to 5 and 3 o'clock came around and I knew, oh, they're coming home from school and they're all by themselves. Not that that matters, but I would miss that. They might not, but I would. So that is my why. Like, I have that luxury to be able to be here for them whenever they need me. I do not have to ask a boss for a day off or an afternoon off if my kids have an appointment of any kind. Like next month, my son has to get his wisdom teeth out. I would have to ask for 2 days off of work because he's having the surgery. We tried to make it so he wouldn't miss too much school. So we did it on a Thursday and he's going to miss Friday. Well, I know he's 16, but I'm not going to leave him at home all by himself because I certainly remember what it was like getting my wisdom teeth out, and it's not fun. So I would have to ask the boss for 2 days off, and guaranteed that would be 2 days of my vacation that they would take. Okay. I do not have to worry about the craziness of the mornings, hopping in a car to get to work on time. I don't have to worry about the busyness of the evenings, getting dinner ready and not having time to spend talking with my kids and my husband to see how their day went, to see what's going on the next day. And that's what's important to me. That is my why. Having the freedom to spend time with my family whenever that is needed. Having my own business also gives me the flexibility to create my own hours. So if something comes up during the week and I can't work for a morning or an afternoon or even a whole day, I can just rearrange my schedule to accommodate that, where without running it by the boss first, because hello, I'm the boss. I can do what I want, right? So another aspect of owning my own business that I really love is that I am the one that can create the culture around my business, around how I advertise it, how I deal with my clients, how I get my clients. So my morals and my values, not someone else's. Okay, so I get to do things my way. And that means that I am in alignment with how I am doing things. I am in alignment with my own values and morals. And that makes me relieved. I'm happier because I get to do things my way. And the best part, I think, is I am creating a legacy for my children. So when they grow up, if they want, they can come into this business with me and learn it, or they can take it over and just run it. They don't have to do the work per se, but they can just be the owner and run it. Or if they don't want to do it, then I can sell it. Okay. Or whatever. And I like to be a role model for my kids, letting them know that they can do whatever they want. They can work for someone else. They can create their own business, create their own income. They're never going to be at a loss. They will always have something that they can do. Now, I know that being a business owner comes with a whole list of other problems and struggles that just working a regular job does not have or does not necessarily have. So being a business owner is you need to make sure that you are growing a large customer base, or you can hire someone to do it for you, so that you will always have the sales and the income coming in. So usually if you are a salesperson at another job, yeah, you have to get the clients, but you're usually not the only one. So as a business owner, that's like top of the thing. If you don't have a steady flow of leads coming in to convert into clients or customers, that's a big problem. You also need to manage your cash flow. We're at a regular 9 to 5, unless that's your job, you don't need to worry about that. So you need money to make money. Okay, that's all there is to it. So whether you have a savings account that you can dip into for your advertising and to get started, or whether you take out a small business loan, you need money to make money. Okay. You also need to make sure that you are in legal compliance with things. So your taxes, you need to make sure you're on the up and up with that. If you are at the point where you need to hire employees, well, then you need to figure out the rules and regulations, like the HR stuff. Okay, so that, or you hire an HR employee, right? And the big one, avoiding burnout. Now, I get that that can also be in a 9 to 5 job, because I say 9 to 5 and a lot of them are more like probably 9 to 9. But you need to be sure that you know when to ask for help, okay? Even if you have to pay for it. If there is something in your business that you don't like doing or that isn't your forte, you need to acknowledge that. You need to admit that, and you need to get help, especially if it's something super important that is going to help you grow your business. You cannot do all the things. I've been there, done that. And I've now realized that that just can't be done, because you are only one person. There are many facets to running a business, and there are not enough hours in the day. Okay. There just aren't. And you're not going to be good at everything in a business. So you need to hire out the pieces that you don't like doing or that you don't know how to do. So you don't, so you have the best chance of succeeding. And then, and another one, you need to make sure that you are doing everything possible to grow your business. And a big example that I am finding people small business owners don't do, are investing in marketing and advertising. It's almost like they feel that that is an expense, an unnecessary expense. And that is can't be farther from the truth. you need, and it's not an expense, it's actually an investment, okay? Because that is advertising and marketing, you are investing in that to grow your business. You will reap the rewards later down the line. But if you don't invest in advertising and marketing, you can bet your bottom dollar your competitors are. So if I saw an ad on Facebook for, say, I don't know, skincare. I mean, that's a big one. There's skincare everywhere. But you decided that you have a great recipe for skincare that has been working for you and your friends, but you don't advertise it. How are people going to know you're there? So they are just going to buy from your competitors. You need to make sure you have the money to invest in marketing and advertising. That is the biggest and the fastest way to grow your business. So another thing too that I have come to realize is you need a plan. Like I said, you can't do everything yourself. So you need to make sure that you allot some funds for advertising and marketing. And your product and service needs to be something people want. So create that plan. Make sure you research your product or service and it's something people are needing. Make sure you have the money to get started the right way. Small business loans are great. There's lots of places that will do it for a minimal interest. That you just have to research that as well. But one of the key things that I find that you can do to stay on track is to create yourself a daily schedule. And what I do is I decided what time of the day I was going to start work and when I end. Now, that fluctuates, but only by a few minutes. So I typically start my workday at 8:30. And I usually end between 4:30 and 5 with that break at 3 when my kids come home. And that's what my day looks like. Now, I used to, but I don't now, just go willy-nilly and do whatever. Okay, yeah, I have to do this. Okay, yeah, I have to do this. I now time block my days. So for example, from 8:30 to 9:30 is my power hour. And that means that is the hour that I am working on my business, promoting my business, doing social media, commenting on other people's posts, things like that, creating a new course. I'm creating my membership program that I have. Things like that, because if you don't allot that time to work on your own business, then you're always working on your customers and clients' business, and you're not continually promoting your own. So I do that from 8:30 to 9:30, and then from 9:30 to 10:30, I am messaging my clients, responding to emails, inputting their ad data into the spreadsheet, stuff like that. Then I take a 15-minute break or so. And then after that, on to the next task, until the end of the day. So that is what I do so that I ensure that I am not neglecting my own business. Because even though I have clients, I still need to make sure that other people are aware that I exist. Okay? So all in all, owning your own business is extremely rewarding, and you do feel a sense of accomplishment knowing that you are building your dreams instead of someone else's. But again, it isn't for everyone. So do the research, check into things that are important, make sure that this is something you want to do. And if you decide to do it, I wish you all the best. You won't regret it. And if you need any marketing help, any scheduling help, like what examples of what you would need to do, if you want to get into the advertising, whether you ask me to do done-for-you ads, or whether you take my membership training and coaching course to learn it yourself, I am here. You can ask me any questions. just shoot me a message in the comments. You can email me. Everything, all the links are down below. But yes, and I would love to hear your why. If you already have a business, I would absolutely love to hear your why. So please comment below. And if you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you shared, liked, commented, all the good things, so that I can get my brand new YouTube channel here out there. This is my second video, and I would really appreciate it. And good luck, and we will see you next week. Bye.